Hello, everybody. Today we're working on assignment number 10, and we're going to start with problem number 1. So let's make a new part file and set our units to inches. So for this part, we will need to use our top plane for this first sketch. And then we will also need to make a plane 2.75 units above and parallel to the top plane to create this circular cross section. So first, let's start a sketch on our top plane. Let's create this first cross section, which is told to be 1.5 units and also square. So if we start with the center rectangle from the center of the origin, we could then dimension this to be 1.5 units tall and 1.5 units wide since it is square. Now this we can extrude up 2 units. So let's finish this by extruding it. Let's extrude this 2 inches. And now let's use this to create our reference plane for the circular cross section. So from the ground, it's 2.75 units. However, we have already created this plane here by extruding this 2 inches up. So we can create a reference plane off the top of this part, 0.75, excuse me, 0.75 inches. So let's create that plane. And then let's start a sketch on plane 1, the plane we just made. It's a circular cross section, and its radius is half of its diameter, 0.75 divided by 2. Let's also extrude this up half an inch. So now we have these two shapes. Finally, we have to loft in between them. And at this point, I no longer need to view this plane, so I could hide it away by right-clicking on it and then clicking to hide. So now let's loft in between these two faces. It's going to be my first face, and this will be my second. And it connected this exactly how I wanted it to. So let's finish this loft. And the next step would be to make these edges that are filleted. So let's hop on over to our fillet tool. Um, we might have to select these one at a time. It looks like that one was selected, that whole edge. These we will have to select one at a time. We don't have to. Um, you can select them edge by edge, and I will also show you a separate method once I'm done here. More or less doing this to reiterate a point that you can do things the brute way or the way that takes more effort, and then there's also shortcuts on here to make your life easy. I didn't mean to select this face, so I can delete it from this box, which is asking which items I want to uh, create fillets for. I believe I was meaning to select this edge. So now I've selected all of my, no, not this face. Keep accidentally selecting it. Or it wants to do this face. I don't need that. I wonder why. Is that my only face? I also don't want this face selected. So let's try that again. I've deleted all my faces. I just want edges here. Um, there we go. So just be careful on what you're selecting. The radius for this fillet is 0.25. Let's change this value to 0.25 and then finish. We could see through our preview what it's going to look like. And there it is. Um, Now let me try to see if there's a faster way to select all of these edges. So I am hopping back into my fillet by editing, and then I will clear. So if you right click on any of these boxes, you can also clear the selections instead of deleting them one at a time. And right now it's asking me which items I want to fillet. So I will click, hold, and drag to create this selection box. And it's a little slow. There's a lot going on right now. But since I only hovered over the edges that I wanted to highlight or to select, those are the ones that are selected. It looked like it didn't grab these four. I'm afraid if I select this pattern, maybe it will highlight even the bottom ones, which we don't want. Um, so you have to be careful on which ones you're selecting. But if I clear that, at least I can highlight most of them without selecting anything that I don't. So I'll do that. I'll use that method for these here. And then I'll go back and select any manually that I am missing. So it didn't help me 100%, but it did save me some time by not having to click on each one of those individually. So now we have all of the edges that we want to select. Let's go ahead and finish this. So we have our all of our edges filleted just as is shown. And the final step was to use our shell uh, feature since we know this is a hollow item. I think of this as somewhat like a vase, hollow on the inside. Um, so we can use our shell function, which you can find here. It tells us our th typical thickness is 0.25, or I'm sorry, 0.025. So 0.025 inches. And the face you want to select for your shell function is the face that it's going to be left open. So in this case, this top face is the one that has the opening. So that's the face we want to select here. And when we finish this, it should leave us with a hollow shell of our part. So we can scroll over to see our vase is now hollow. Um, and I will just show quickly that if you change the face, let's say we wanted this open on the bottom. So we would select the bottom face. Now it's still hollow, but it's open from the bottom, whereas it should be originally it was open from the top. So again, I'll just go back. Just wanted to show you guys that. So let's delete this bottom face and leave the top face selected and click onto our isometric view. And that was problem number 1.